From this welcome page, you'll see down here that there is a set up this planner link. So if I click this button, that will take me through to the setup page. I can also get there from this menu item, and you will see setup here. So if I just click on that, we are in the setup page now. What we're going to do is discuss how this planner you can set this planner up for yourself, and the nice sort of way I've structured it so that you can sort of check off things as you go through and you set yourself up to use it. So first of all, there is a default user. This is the main user for this planner, and this will be yourself. And I've created this default user because I wanted it to automatically assign tasks and projects and so on to you. But it also means that you can actually reassign those tasks and projects to other people. So members of your family, members of your team, colleagues, employees, other people, and so on. So it's a nice way of having a sort of a way of managing that. So let's go through and discuss how we set yourself up as a user. So this is the main user. This is a little frog, and if you read the instructions, try not to delete it. You can get it back if you need to. And right at the bottom of this, there is some instructions about how to fixing accidentally deleted data. So we won't worry about it for now. So all you do, click on the frog. It opens up on the right, and you can then see change your username. So you can now just call yourself Ben. And this is then where you enter in your email address and your phone number and so on, and all of that information about you. You'll also be able to see sort of tasks and things that assigned specifically to you, and you can obviously reallocate those to other people. You can see your projects, and you can then see your goals and things as well. So if I then close that, so that's us setting up. So we've gone through, we've changed the name, I've set the email address, assuming I set the email address, the phone number. I can add notes about myself. You can change the cover image, and I'll just show you how you do that. So if you just hover over, actually it's just here, the cover image here. If you just click on the link here, you can then delete it and then just add a new file to sort of upload, and that's your new image for you. So that's how you do that. And then you can probably ignore the rest of these kind of properties and things as well. But it's nice that it will tell you the percentage of tasks that you've done this week and so on. So it's that is the sort of default user. Then I've also got a default project as well. Now this is a project that will automatically receive tasks that that you've created and haven't got any projects for. So these might be sort of tasks like doing the shopping or fill out your insurance. And you might not have a sort of great sort of project for filling out those things. So I've got a default project. This can be split into sub-projects. I don't have any here, but it will have your tasks as well. And these are project-specific tasks. And it will also have the sort of goals as well. You might want to just change that to be, my general project or something. And you just know that's what it is. So there we go. And if I just close that, hitting this little chevron at the top, yes, I've edited that, and I can leave the rest of the properties. So now I can move on to the next section. Now this is where it starts getting a bit more kind of interesting. So when you are sort of trying to do planning and so on, it's really, really good, and a lot of these productivity books really emphasize this, to describe your vision, to have a vision of where you want to go to, because this is what will keep you on track. This is what's important to you, and this is what you create your goals from and your projects from and your tasks from. And these are the things that move your life forward. So if I click on this Open Vision button, again, it opens to the side, and you can see some sort of pre-filled vision things I put in. Now, we've talked about this previously, but you will want to sort of edit, what you want to be remembered for. So you'll put in, I want to be remembered for empowering people to fulfill their potential. You put your name in here. for example, and that will be, and you can sort of bold and highlight it and so on like that. So, and you can just hit that button, put background. There we go. Now this will appear on your goals and some of those other things, and it's a very useful way of having of sort of keeping you focused. You might also want to have a list of your personal values. So these are things that you mean a lot to you. These are the sort of fundamental principles of your character. So, to give kindness, to treat people like you want to be treated, and so on. And you can write this out, and this helps you keep a sort of an idea of what your kind of values and things are all about. So, go through, enter that up, check it off on the left-hand side here. And then you can then look at ideal futures. This is interesting. This is imagining yourself in the future. What is it you want to be? How, what does that look like? And giving lots of details and, writing out lots of points will really help you sort of drill into, what your ideal future should be. And you can overwrite this is done as a sort of a list, so I can create new ones as just by clicking on it, but I can also rename it as well. So I might want to say, running my own business, for example. And oops, if I delete that. And then I can put everything in around that into my kind of ideal, and I can build up a nice little bunch of lists just to remind me about what my ideal future is all about. Okay, so we've gone through that. We've opened the toggle, we've renamed some of those things, and then gone through that thing. Now you want to look at my vision. So these are sort of sections. These are things that you want to kind of accomplish in, and I've put 1 year, but you could put 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, whatever it is. And there is a nice little sort of helpful tips thing that you can sort of drop down and kind of help you kind of understand a bit more about it. So, for example, I've created a kind of view around nice visual sort of areas of your vision. So you might want to have a career one, a sort of social life one, and so on. There is a sort of a more detailed one. You can turn off some of these things. So I can say, oh, this particular vision's not started, and so then it doesn't appear in this initial list. So so you can kind of turn some of these things on and off as you like. So let's say, you're going to do sort of a career, you can open it up, and then you can fill out all of the sort of information that you want. Now, remember, we put that quote in at the beginning, and this will appear on every single one of your pages and kind of keep you focused and so on. And you can write out your details. You can put things about manifesting. So you can put any nice quotes or thoughts or manifestations about how you're going to achieve this. And you can also then put your goals in there, and that's what we'll get onto in a minute. But this is a good place to really think about, what you stand for, what your vision is all about, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there. So I'll just, if I click back on there, we've got our list. Oops, and we've done this one. And we've removed, we can go in through edit some of those visions. You can change the titles and all of that kind of stuff and enter more details. And then we're going to talk about goals and things now. So now we're going to create some goals. At the bottom here, we've got 2 links that take you to the vision page and the goals page, because we can create goals from either of those. If I open the vision, we will see our visions that we talked about earlier. And if I open up the careers one, we can now create and it's on this section, we can now create a vision goal. So if I click on this button, up comes our goal, and let's say create an Etsy business. And you can fill it in with your details and so on. Now notice that it's not started. Because it's not started, and if I just jump back a section, it doesn't appear in this list. You might worry where it is. Well, you can always click on the All Goals button, and you'll see that it is here at the bottom, and you can always open it up and just say, right, I'm going to start that. Now, when you open up your vision goals, you'll see it here. Okay. The other thing to notice is that actually when you go into the goals page, we have nice banner images. Now we don't have one on here, so let's go into that and add a new banner. So it's just a cover photo. You just click on the empty and choose your file. I've just got some random pictures of lily pads and frogs, so I'll just open that for now. And that's our cover image. And if I go back into the goals page, you'll see, there we go, that's our goal setup. And you can use these to sort of drive your vision. Okay, let's tick those off. Completed. Okay, now we're going to look at our projects. Now, projects are, goals are made up of projects. And when you complete your projects, you get closer and closer to completing your goals and ultimately your vision. So as you can see, we click on each goal listed opposite, and we open up the goals page, and then we go in and we can edit and add projects to it. At the bottom here, you'll also see that there's another way, so we can use the quick add buttons, or we can even go to the projects page and you can create projects that way. So let's open this one up. Okay, let's say we've got a project, it's empty. Let's add a new goal project, and let's say create ADHD Notion template. You'd fill in all the details and so on. So let's say it has a date range. Let's say it's going to start today, and you can then check the end date, and let's say let's put it in 2 weeks' time. So that's now a project which is going to go over 2 weeks. And let's give it a tag, so it's going to be our business, and let's say it's in progress, where it's an active project. You can always highlight it if you want to, and that's all you need to know here. You can add some sort of project to-do lists. You might have some items that you might want to add in, like contact people or research or so on, and these ultimately can get turned into tasks and so on. You can also create your own project-specific notes, and they'll go into this section. You just hit the button. There's a nice add notes to this project as with lists. This is quite, I'll open it up. And this is a specific note that has a load of different lists that you can add things into. So inbox items, ideas, and so on, and so on. So it's a really useful way of capturing lots of different sort of categories of things. Again, you'll be able to add task projects just from here. You just hit the add task button. So as you start working through, you can even create sub-projects. You might have milestones or things like that. And that's where you would just hit add this sort of sub-project. And you might say, I don't know, create mock-ups, for example. And you would set whether it's sort of started or not, and then you could also go in and set a date range, and let's say you're going to do that at the end of the week, and you want an end date, and let's say it's like that. So let's give it another extra day. So that's how you would set up those types of things. And if we go in, and then obviously you can align it to your project goals, but because we created it from a goal, it appears here already. So that's our project already set up. So we can check off that, we can check off that. I'll show you the add goal button as well. So I think we've looked at this already. If I go back onto the dashboard page, there is the quick add buttons, and there is our add project button there. So that's how we might go about doing adding projects to this. Okay, now we get on to habits. So habits are activities that you want to develop. They're sort of long-term things. They're skills might take a while to to develop, and you want to sort of work on them continuously. It might not be every single day, it might be a period of time of the week, and you can then set a sort of date range as well. So if I click open habits, you can see our habits that I've kind of created. At the moment, I've put all habits in here. So even ones that have been completed are here. Now, that's just because I manually created these. You can go in and you can change all of these, put your own images on, and you can just if you want to change the cover image, you can just click on it, and then you can sort of change it, delete it, and what have you. So that's how you go in and do that. If I go back an arrow, there we go, back to our thing. So first of all, how do you check off a habit? How do you sort of, make one work? There's this habit logging buttons, and these buttons that when you click it will add this day. So days are automatically created every single day, and we've seen that in the time blocking and part of the of this video, these videos. So if I click log, it will log a run with any luck. There we go. Now it will also count how many times a week that the run has occurred. So in this case, you want the run to be logged every single day of the week, 7 days. And out of 366 days, because this year is a leap year, it will also add up the total amount of runs that you've done. Some things only need to be happen once. So learning, for example, let's say this is something that we want to log. So sort of log learning. If I click on this, you'll see that it's actually been completed for this week. And so it completely crosses it off. So this is a good way of tracking and managing your habits. Now, if I go into the habits, you can obviously set the date range that it's active for. You can set the types of habits it is, and the sort of tags that it's related to. So you could keep adding your own in there. And you can set the number of times per week that you want that habit to occur. So if you set it for a month and you want it to happen every 7 days, that would be 31 days or 30 days, depending on the month. And you can then link that to a goal. So you might want to develop a fitness routine and you might want to add it to that goal as well. And this all then links back to your vision of everything as well. So if I go back to our habits button, you can also add a new habit. Now this is kind of different from adding lots of other things. So well, first of all, you can remove and delete any of these that you don't want or hide them, just make them inactive. But if you want to add a completely new habit, then this is what you have to do. You just click the add new habit, you give it a name, so it might be language, learn language, give it some details. Let's say you're going to do it twice a week, and you might want to do, it's going to be a learning one. You could then upload an image. Oops, let's just get rid of the none. And that's that. Now, if I go back onto this page, you'll see that it's created this button down here, and that's, where is our language one. So if you click this edit button, this has some instructions, but all you need to do is click the cog, give it a name like log language, and all you need to do is add it to the learn language group. There we go. Oops, let's go to that. Language. Okay. And that is all you need to do. You might want to give it a new icon. So you might want to give it another one of those perhaps, or let's give it let's give it a person one, and that is then created the log language button. And you can now delete that if you don't want it anymore, because it will always create a new one. And you've got this at the bottom, so we haven't got an image on it at the moment, but if I click log language, it should add one. If it's active, it should then add one into that list. And have I set, oh, I haven't set an end date. So if I set an end date, here we go, end date, let's say it's going to be a few months. There we go. So now it's logged that one item, and it's going to be a total of 40 times we're going to do it, and we're 3% the way through. So there we go. So that's how you can create a new habit, and you can log them all as well. There's a nice view at the bottom as well, which is a timeline, and you can see all of these habits over time, when they start, when they finish, and how the total number of times that you've done that particular thing. You can see that by week, and you can also see that by month. So those are that's how habits work. Let's just check those off, and we will talk about routines.